Hello and welcome to another episode of Mr. Rocks. In this episode, we're going to start our first lesson on ActionScript. And our most basic program, we're going to go ahead and take a green ball and move it across the stage. Now, I've already done a few things. Just to get started, I went ahead and I chose my oval tool and I created an oval. I created that oval on the stage by holding down the shift key. It's symmetrical. And I'm going to go ahead and show you how to make a movie clip. We just select it, we right click, convert to symbol, and you have three symbols to choose from: graphics, button, and movie clips. For this project, we're going to be using a movie clip, and I'm going to go ahead and cancel this. I don't need that, I've already done it, and so I named this guy over here, created a movie clip, and I named him, you can see in the library, Green Ball. Okay, so if I delete this guy from the main stage, I haven't deleted him from the library. In the library, I have Green Ball, but if I drag him out to the stage, there's an important piece of object-oriented programming that we need to see here. In the library, I have the class. The class is to the object as a blueprint might be to a home, okay? So I can drag multiple instances of this object onto the stage, but each one of these is a different object. Just like you can have the same blueprint and make multiple houses, all of these objects follow the blueprint or the class as described in the library. Now what I want to do is I just want one. If I want to use ActionScript to manipulate this object, what I need to do is go back into properties and I have to give him a name. I'm going to call him gball_MC. Okay, so this is going to be the name of this particular guy. I use this name in ActionScript, not the name that's in my library, when I want to manipulate this guy. The reason for that is if I want to have another guy out here, he's still going to have the same name in the library, but if I was going to give this guy a name on the stage, I have to give him a different name if I want to manipulate him with ActionScript. So, for instance, here I would call this guy, let's say gball2_MC, and those are the names that I use in ActionScript. Okay, so we have classes, which are in the library. We have objects that are on the stage, and each object is an instance of a particular class. Okay, having done that, I'm going to go ahead and I want to move this guy across the stage. Every object has properties, and so if I come into my ActionScript layer and hit F9, what I see is I have an event listener that's listening for an event, and the event is enter frame. And when I enter a frame, I'm going to call this function MoveBall. It's important to realize that I'm going to be entering this frame 24 times a second. And each time I enter the frame, the event listener is going to be listening. It's going to hear this event thrown. Every time I enter the frame, the ActionScript will throw an enter frame event. And when that happens, I created a function, or I'm going to create a function called MoveBall. So the standard syntax for a function is you write the word function, the name. This name has to correspond exactly with this name up here. I have an input parameter, which I'm not going to talk about now. I'm going to show what I return. In this case, I'm not returning anything, so I have the word void. And I have the code for my program in here. So what I'm saying here is gball1_MC. Oops, I think I called it gball if I'm not mistaken. Equals gball_MC plus 5. Now that doesn't make any sense yet because what I have to use here is a property. So the property of gball that I want is the x coordinate. So I just say .x here, and I'm going to go ahead and say .x here, and that is the x coordinate of where gball is on the screen. If we want to take a look back here for just a minute, we can see that currently, if I look in the properties panel, that the x coordinate is 89.4. Also, gball happens to be 80 units wide and 80 units high, and I'm going to come back and refer to that later on, but let's go ahead back here now. I'm going to go to F9 and let's see what this code does for my program. Okay, so 24 times a second I come into my program, and each time I come into that particular frame, rather, I'm going to move my gball, my green ball, 5 units to the right. Okay, having done that, now what I want to do is, when I get to the edge of the stage, I want to move back. And for this, I'm going to need a little Boolean variable or a flag variable. And so the way we create variables in Flash is I use the keyword var. And I'm going to go ahead and give it a name. I'm going to move this guy to the right. And so I say move right. I tell what type of variable it is. In this case, it's going to be a Boolean variable, and I'm going to give it a value true. Booleans can either be true or false, and nothing else. Okay, so MoveRight is going to start off at true, and I'm going to go ahead and use a conditional statement here. It's going to be the statement if, and I'm going to say if, and I go ahead and with curly braces, I'm going to go ahead and do this only if something is true. Okay, so if something is true, and I'm going to say if MoveRight is true, okay, and I'll just go ahead and say equals true. Okay. Now remember, one equal sign is the assignment operator. It takes the 5, whatever inside this value. It's going to add 5 to that, and it's going to load it in this value. What this double equal sign is doing is it's asking the question, is it true? And so if it's true, if MoveRight is true, I'm going to be moving to the right. And if it's not true, I won't do this. I'll just skip all of this code. However, what I need to do is if this guy gets all the way to the edge, I'm going to have another if statement here. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say if this guy is all the way over to the edge, then I want MoveRight to be false. And so I'm going to go ahead and set this guy equal to false right here if he gets all the way over to the edge of the stage. Now, how do I know when he's all the way over to the edge of the stage? Okay, the way that I know that is that I set the stage up to be 800 pixels by 600 pixels. So it's 800 pixels wide. If the x-coordinate goes beyond that value, so I'll go ahead and take this guy. I'll say if this value gets to be over, so I'll say greater than 800, then I want to go ahead and move right to be false. Okay? Now if I take all this code, okay, let's go ahead and run this as it is right now. And he's going to walk along, or he's going to crawl along here, and at some point he's going to get over 800, and he's just going to stop right there. Okay, that's good. So that's doing what we want. I'm going to go ahead and copy this guy now. I'll copy him right down here, paste him in. Whoops, try that again. Copy this whole bit of code right here, because what I want to do is I want to set this up so he's going to be coming back the other way. So now if MoveRight is equal to false, which he was set up to false up here, if he gets past that edge of the stage, then what I want to do is I want to start making him move the other way. So I simply subtract 5 from the x-coordinate. And if I'm going to keep doing this until g-ball is less than 0, and then MoveRight is going to be equal to true once again. Let's go ahead and see what happens now. Nothing's going on. Looks like I got an error. So it says that I'm expecting a right brace. And I think what happened was I need to have one more curly bracket down here. Let's see if that does it. Okay, run it, and there it goes. So I'm going to go all the way over to the edge of the stage. When I get to the edge, it realizes MoveRight becomes false. Now MoveRight is false. I start subtracting value, and it's going to go back and forth. Okay, good. Now, what I would like you to try is to take this same code. What you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and take this value. You're going to add, instead of MoveRight, you're going to do the same thing for vertical movement, and you're going to say move down equals true. Okay? So this part of the code right here, we know that we've just created the part for horizontal movement. So we'll say horizontal move. And we're going to go ahead and do the same thing down below right here for vertical movement. Now you can copy and paste all of this code for the vertical and then just change or figure out what you need to change to make it move up and down, and then your program will be ready to go. Okay, that's it for today. Bye-bye.